Hello and welcome to Life Behind the Cover. I'm Taylor and today I have started writing again after like 5 months. I didn't plan to do this vlog. When I did my video about my car accident and traumatic brain injury, I talked about wanting to get back into writing, not putting like pressure on myself. And I'm not until I did absolutely do that today. Today I filmed my Cinder video, I read that, and I've just been wanting to get back into writing. I've been a little worried about doing it with my brain injury, but I really missed it and I wanted to get back into writing. And so I decided, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna try to sit and write every day. I'm not gonna put pressure on it. I'm not gonna put a word count or however long I sit. I'm just going to sit and try and really keep it in my mind. And I sat today and I wrote over my planned word count, which is 1,667 words, just like NaNoWriMo does every day. I just like the idea of a clean 50,000 in a month. Because that gives me an idea of like how long I think one draft of my book will take. And I went over that. I did 1,700 and something words today. They were so easy. Like, I was a little concerned about getting back into it because it had been a while. But they were really easy words. I'll let you know I did look through all my, well, one second. I looked through all of this, all my world building and outlines and characters. I reread everything in my story so far. And that definitely helped to get me back on Mars, remember what I was thinking when I've been writing last, which is mid-November. And yeah, I was ready. So I guess I'm going to do a rating vlog now, because I also think it'll help me be like a little more stable. And because I thought it was going to be harder than it was, not that some days won't be harder, especially when my symptoms are high, my brain fog is higher. Like, I'm going to be easy on myself. It was not as hard as I thought it was going to be, though. There was stuff that I noticed that was different than normal. Like, sometimes it took me like quite a bit longer to get a word that I would normally get really easily. And I would forget characters' names that I think before I would have known pretty well. But also some of that is being away from the story and not being in it every day. So I noticed things, but they weren't super big roadblocks in the way that I thought they were. And having reread my story, I know that my story is already not perfect and not supposed to be perfect, because a first draft is not for perfection. It is to get done. And you know what? I'm getting it done. I'm doing it. So I'm very excited at this development. I hope every day is as easy as it was today. All right, let's do it. Okay, so it is the next day. I went and saw Batman earlier today. We did like a matinee show. It was really good. I hadn't seen it yet because I was trying to avoid the large crowds that come in the beginning of movies like that. And but it was worth waiting. It was really good. What else did I do? Oh, my nephew's obsessed with Miraculous, and I think he's kind of pulled the whole family into that. So yeah, I watched some Ladybug and Cat Noir today. But now it's later at night, so it's time for me to write. Interestingly, today I wasn't thinking a lot about this book. I was thinking a lot about a different book that I have an idea for, and I am really obsessed with it. I'm still in the brainstorming phases of that, which is my early brainstorming phase is just literally anytime I have a thought, writing it down in a notes app. I have so many ideas for it, and I'm very excited. The problem is I've never written a middle grade. I don't read middle grade as much as I write YA, and I want a boy as the main character. So I need to start reading some more middle grade so I can try to kind of figure out how middle grades are. Because I'm thinking about doing it, and it's definitely middle grade and feeling like the idea. And then I'm like, how am I possibly going to make myself write anything less than 100K? Like, how am I going to write a 50K book? That's crazy to me. Anyways, so I'm just brainstorming that one. I'm not doing anything with that one, and I won't until I'm finished draft one of my current book. So I'm getting into that now. We're at a really fun part. The dynamic is changing between my main character and the other main character who is going to become the love interest. It's not like a lovey relationship yet. It's kind of, you were really mean and now you're a little bit less mean, but the change is really fun. The scene where it happens is really fun. So I think I have a pretty good idea of what I want to write today. Of course, like, I have everything outlined, so I, in general, have a pretty good idea, but I mean, like, a little more specifics than just my general outline. And we're starting to go in, like, a very fun direction. We're starting to get into everything, because this is, I guess I should have said this, I'm bringing in Act 2 today. So this setup is all over, essentially, and we're, like, fully in it now, so I'm excited. Okay, I just finished writing. I wrote the rest of chapter 9 so most of chapter 9, honestly, and into chapter 10. And I wrote 1,821 words today. So that's good. That's better than yesterday. Honestly, I almost wrote just under because I finished the chapter and I was like, I kind of don't want to like just start the chapter, but there was something I wanted to happen in this chapter anyway that's kind of like a really funny scene between my two main characters. And it's kind of just like it not very like important, nothing I have to really think about. It's just like that piece of them like kind of learning to share space and like each other. So I decided to do that to start off with, and I ended up writing over. So that's great. I'm going to start adding a little bit to my outline because I still have some stuff I want to add to it before like I progress to Act 3, because Act 3 needs just like a little more work on it. And like all of Act 2 is fine and all of Act 1 is fine. So before I get to that part, I want to make sure that I have everything kind of set up. I know the bones of it. For that, it'll be the end of the day. I'll check in with you if anything interesting happens. Alright, I'm just waiting outside the vet's office. My cat Artemis is a little bit chunky, which usually is just cute in cats. But he's 2, and being that chunky at 2 is kind of a lot. He broke his arm. He needed surgery that they couldn't do in our city. We had to go to another city. So he has like a full like metal plate in his little arm. He's got screws and stuff. So that extra weight, though it's not bothering him right now, could end up being a problem in that it would put pressure on that wound. And we want to keep it how it is now, which is that he doesn't even notice that his arm was ever broken and still likes to do ridiculous things that could in fact break his arm again. So we're doing a weight check just to see how he's going. Essentially, the idea is that we want to make sure he's not losing too much weight, but we also want to make sure that he's not gaining or not losing any weight. And I just thought I'd chat while I was waiting here, because there's nothing else for me to do. Anyways, I had the worst night's sleep last night. I was up till 10 a.m. this morning, actually after 10 a.m. this morning, because I had a terrible headache and I could not get to sleep. And so I just skipped physiotherapy today, which is silly because physio is supposed to help with that stuff, but I'd been up over 24 hours and I knew I had to sleep. I slept like maybe 4 hours if we're being generous, so I feel like shit. I still hope I can get some amount of writing done today. I'm gonna try to go easy on myself. I say this so frequently, and the truth is I almost never do. Like I can almost never sit down at a Word document and tell myself that it's okay to write 400 words instead of 1,000 or 2,000. Well, I don't remember where I left off. I know I was at the vet with Artemis. It's not working today. It's not happening today. When I got home, I decided to do some reading, some middle grade reading, because I'm trying to learn a little bit about middle grade, because I have that middle grade story. It's taking up a lot of space in my mind right now, and I want to make sure that by the time I get to it, I have a much more like foundational basis for how to plot out story for a middle grade audience, because YA came really naturally to me. It's certainly the thing I read the most and have read for the longest, so that was kind of never a question when I started writing, but getting this middle grade idea, becoming so excited about it, I just want to make sure that I do it right and I do it justice. So I started reading A Snicker of Magic, and what I'm doing is kind of writing down what I'm finding story structure wise, what each chapter is doing. So I'm not just going to do it with one book. I'm also going to try to do it with some movies to see if I can really just get a grasp on how like multiple people have done it and what tends to really work. I was a little worried it was going to ruin the reading experience, but it didn't at all. I'm still really enjoying reading it. It's super cute right now. But anyway, I'm going to do a whole vlog about learning how to middle grade. So we don't have to talk about that now. But long story short, I have what feels like an ice pick in the side of my head right now. So how much writing did I get done? Not very much. I think I'm right at about 600. I honestly didn't really want a day lower than 1,667, and I certainly didn't want it this soon, you know? I just kind of set it up. I wanted to keep that going for a while, but you can't predict injuries. You can't predict what your disability is going to do, and I just have to take that as it comes. 600 words is not what I wanted to do today, but it is more words on the page than what I had before. It is still me doing some work every day that is progressing my story, and it's a net positive, and that's how I need to look at things instead of being like kind of hard on myself. I'm just hoping tomorrow is an easier day. Hi. Last night was sure a doozy for me. I also was having like a moment because I was watching a lot of AuthorTube. Usually it inspires me. Last night it didn't. I really had that moment that everybody has when they're drafting and being like, this is total trash. It's crazy because you know that everybody thinks this in their first draft, and you know first drafts are not for being really good. And still, every first draft I have this problem. So yesterday I was like, I can't write, I'm not good. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and read my last novel, which is not finished yet. I think I'll be doing my third draft in a few months. My second draft is complete on that one, and I was like, I'm just gonna go look at it a little bit, because yes, my first draft here is not very good at all, but let me see what I did with the second draft. And I read the first paragraph or two and I was like, you know what, I'm being an idiot. Like, I can do this, it's fine. I just kind of had to give myself a pep talk that it was okay to not write a ton of words. It was okay to have a kind of shitty first draft. Like, my first draft is really bones. I think that's mostly the case for most writers' first draft. I think my first draft here is better than my last first draft, and I also think that it's going to be okay because I have lots of work to do on it, but that's good. This is one stepping stone to the end of a full completed novel, and this stepping stone can be a little cracked, can be a little weird, as long as we keep going to make the perfect stepping stone. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. That was really weird. Just getting my head in the game, you know? Back to writing after being a long time away and putting pressure on myself when I shouldn't be is not doing me any good. I need to complete this. I need to be working on it every day. And that's it. That's my goal. If I work on it every day, if I get 50 words or if I get 3,000, that's okay. Right now, I need to find the flow of getting back into it, back into the writing and back into the story, which I mostly am. I need to get back into the habit of writing every day and making that time. Every day I've been like, I just need to give myself a break. Like, stop talking about it. I am about to start writing. Today, I am in kind of a transitionary chapter where no big event is happening, but we're kind of leading up to it. So my main character needs to be doing some training so that we can show how she's kind of progressing in her abilities as we go through the story and go up to the next big plot point event that's happening. So that's what I have to do now. I've been thinking about how I want to kind of take that on. Do I want to do like a montage style, or do I want to take some very like specific moments and do it like that? I'm not sure. We also have to do something else in this, which is related to the villain a little bit, in that my main characters are trying to figure some stuff out. So that has to go in this chapter too, just so I can show that like things are happening as we're going, and they need to be happening on page 2, as well as like the understanding that they're happening behind the scenes too. So it's kind of a moment for me to make sure that I'm like, okay, we're talking about all the different plot threads here, we're talking about the different subplots, just to show that like throughout we're like actively stringing them through, kind of thing. I hope that that makes sense. I'll let you know how writing goes. Alright, I should pull up my word count. Okay, it's been a while now. I wrote 1,857 words today. I feel great about it. Today was a really easy writing day, whereas some days it's like I'm constantly checking the word count, making sure that I'm getting closer, and it feels like it's taking forever. Today I wasn't even focused on it. I was having fun writing. It's a great step from yesterday, so that is good. I don't know if I said this. We've entered the fun and games sections of the book, and I know a lot of people have trouble with that. I don't know that I do. I think that calling it fun and games makes it confusing, but I think once you get the idea of the promise of the premise kind of thing, you can get there pretty easily. But maybe I'm misconstruing it, and I just think I know because I'm thinking the wrong thing. I don't know. That being said, this chapter, which might end up being more than one depending where I get to, because right now it's kind of already a big chapter and I haven't done something that I wanted to do. But I wanted there to be a moment in this chapter, because this is kind of coming down from something that's just happened. We're settling into like this new world that she's in right now, her new norm. So I wanted there to be one piece, big or small, from each different subplot. So I wanted to have a little bit of romance. It's not romance yet. We're only at chapter 10. It's just like a hint of, why do I think it's weird when I think of her with other people, kind of thing. I wanted to have one about her arc a little bit, her trying to get better, her moving on. I wanted, there's a small mystery. I want that to be in here. And then there's another subplot I can't tell you because that is super spoilery. I want that in here, and I want them kind of trying to figure out villain stuff too. So it's a lot to put in one chapter, which is why it might end up being 2. But right now, I feel good, you know? I think that this is the right thing to do at this point, is have each, like, a check-in with each of those things, because I just want to make sure that they're woven throughout the whole plot, not just talked about once and then, like, a couple other times. Like, I want, even if a chapter is focused on something else, I want a little hint that there's still something going on in that area behind the scenes, or the characters are still thinking about it, stuff like that. Because this book has so many subplots, I just really wanted to make sure each of them, like, that I remembered each of them, and was making sure that each of them were important and stuff, and they are. They're important to the story, they're integral. So, yeah, a great day. I'm so excited to get going tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do some reading tonight, which feels great because I usually don't read while I'm writing, but that's something I'm trying to work on because I love reading and I can't just put it aside for months while I'm drafting a novel, can I? So, I'll see you tomorrow. Start on a walk with my main guy. We just got back from our little morning walk. It looks like it was perfect timing too, because the sky is like gray outside, like it looks like it's about to be raining. So I have a couple things I need to do today. I need to edit a video to put up either today or tomorrow, and I need to obviously write. I want to do some reading. What else? There was something else I had in my head, but I'm gonna make breakfast and we'll get to it. Okay, I just finished editing my work in progress tag video that'll already be out before this one goes out. It's almost done. It's not quite done yet. I'm gonna go make some dinner though. Just started to pour. I have gotten into writing for today. I'm a little bit in, and I'm making the choice to split this chapter into 2. It's 3,000 words already, which I think is a fine length for a chapter, so I'm just gonna have another chapter add onto it with what I'd already outlined for that original chapter. I'm gonna just break it up into 2 different pieces, of one being training and one being progression of a different plot. We're still in the fun and game section like I was talking about, so I'm focusing on that. On my way to figure out if I should split this chapter or not, I decided to check out the word count for 5 or so of my other chapters, just to see if this one lied like within the average of that, in which case, since it's not completely done, it would need a second chapter. And I realized that one of my chapters, which is the introductory chapter to some parts of the magic world, was like almost 7,000 words, which is a lot. And I'm guessing, although I'm not anywhere near editing, I'm guessing that when I'm revising, that chapter is getting cut in half too, probably. Alright, I just finished writing. I wrote 1,750 words today, and I feel really good. I think changing that, making them into 2 separate chapters really feels right, especially after I just completed that scene. They're just, like, distinctly separate. It would have been fine if they had been less meaty, but I think this was a good choice. So I finished off chapter 10. I'm mostly done chapter 11. I think tomorrow I'm probably going to have my main character have a moment with one of the other characters that we've seen and we like a little bit, but there hasn't really been a huge connection between them, so I want them to have a talk about something that is going to teach a little something to my main character and kind of progress something that she's really thinking about. And then this chapter will be done and we'll move on to a little bit of the competition, a little more of the competition. So I feel really good with my goal. This is my 5th day of writing after being off for so long, and I already feel back into the groove, so I feel really great. Also, I surpassed 30,000 words today. That feels awesome. To me, when I hear 30K, I'm thinking that's probably a third of the way through my book, which sounds good. I don't know if it actually will be. I'm just kind of estimating that my book will be about 100K. That's how much my last draft was. So I'll check back in tomorrow. Okay, I just decided to do this, but I want to set like a goal date, a goal deadline, in hopes that I can reach it. The deadline currently on my writing habit tracker is November 30th, which would have been for when I was doing NaNoWriMo. For the 50,000 words I was doing for NaNoWriMo, so I want to change it to about 100,000 words. And so I'm going to take 100,000 words, which is where I expect the novel to be, take away the 30K that I have right now, and see where that leaves me. So if I write at a pace of 1,667 words a day, I will need 40 days to get to 100K. 40 days, that feels like so little. 40 days. Okay, what's 40 days from now? I don't think I'm gonna give myself more time than that because next month I'm going on a trip to see Hamilton. So I want to give myself a little wiggle room so I can have a worse writing day without feeling terrible over it and freaking out. But let's look at what that is. Okay, 40 days from today is May 2nd. Oh, I really like that date. I like that date because it's right at the beginning of May. And so that feels like a good day to end because you could start something new in the beginning of a month, but that's silly. I am going to give myself probably an extra week's buffer. So let's say 47 days from today. That's good. That'll be May 9th. Setting wise, if you don't know writing tracker, this is what I use to track writing in my Google Docs, and I'll show it to you. This is what it normally looks like. You can have this say different things. I always have word written for the day, when my goals complete, my streak, and then how many I have overall. You'll see this thing along the bottom is tracking my goal, which we're about to change. And to change it, I'm just going into the menu here. I want that amount for a total of... And I want to finish by May 9th, I said. So now down here you'll see that it looks like I'm about a third of the way through and I want to be done by May 9th. That feels sooner than I thought it would take me, but I'm excited to have like that new deadline. I hope I make it. Look who's decided to sit in my chair. I'm tired. I haven't checked in a lot today. I got some inspiration to clean today. And for me, when I feel that little bit of motivation to clean, I have to go with it because I hate cleaning. So, you know, you take that as a blessing and you go. So I did some cleaning today. I'm not fully done, but it was well needed cleaning because since I've been sick, I've really been putting that stuff off. So I'm glad I started. Hopefully I can continue tomorrow. Back to what we're doing. So I cleaned, I went to physio, I cleaned some more. Now I am done for the day, and I wanted to write a little earlier today because I've been writing quite late. It's back late again at 6:20 and I haven't written yet or eaten dinner. So I guess what I'm going to do is try to get some words down now. Maybe take a break in the middle and eat and get some words done then. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I do know I'm going to sit down and write right now. I just filmed for 5 minutes explaining everything that I wanted to say, only to realize that I was filming it in a time lapse. So you can see the exact moment when I realized what a dummy I was. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. Let's hope I can remember everything that I needed to say. Okay, so I think I said, I've noticed two things. One, that two characters, one of which is going to become my main character's very good friend, one of which is going to become a friend, but not as close, kind of have a similar personality. So that's going to have to change so the characters don't blend together too much. I did give one of them a hobby. So one of my characters is now a knitter, but that's not enough. I do still want them both to be kind of like peppy, girly, optimistic kind of people, but I think they just need like a little bit of a change to one of them to just be able to make them a little more distinct from each other. I also realized that because I have such a huge amount of characters, I need to spend some more time with them. My main character is in a huge competition, so just by the nature of the book there's other people in the competition, and while they're not like huge people, at least most of them aren't, they are important to the plot, and I want them to be more than just like a background person who's like, hello, I am also in the thing, you know, just like feel like they're a little more fleshed out and have their own motivation. So I need more time with them. I've kind of figured how I want to do that, like how I can have more one-on-one time with them, but it's just going to take some time. So my next chapter was outlined to be a really cute moment between my main character and my love interest. It wasn't particularly romantic, like what was happening, but it was going to feel kind of romantic, you know, because Allie, my main character's love interest, has been really pushing my main character, and my main character has been working hard, but like still kind of struggling, and I think Allie feels that like she's kind of being a little too hard on Ridley. So I give them like a little moment, and I want to start those little buds of being like, but what about her kind of thing. So it's not super romantic yet, but we're at that point where we can get just like a little more romantic. And I didn't think that was going to be a huge chapter anyway, so what I think I'm going to do is start the chapter with a scene of her having one-on-one time. It's not like that. They're not like sitting down for a conversation, but like spending some time with specific characters that I want to just flesh out a little more, and then move into that other piece. I think the pacing and the flow of the chapter won't be really affected by this. It might even just help, because before it was going to cut in at the end of something and transition into a new thing, but now we're going to have the something, then transition from that into the more like cutesy little scene, and I think that will work. Right now I'm at about 1,000 words. I'm gonna keep writing until I get fairly close to my goal for the day. If my scene ends right before my word count is met, I'm just going to leave it. I have a headache today. I don't really want to deal with it, but if we go a little past that sounds good with me, as long as we're kind of leaving at a point that makes sense to me. That's where I'm at right now. You know, when you're less than a foot away from someone. Okay, so it's really dark in here because I have been writing for a while. I'm at 2,468 words for the day. I just wrote this fun scene. It's not fun at all, actually. It's actually absolutely terrible for my main character, where I decided of different ways to kind of match my character up with different characters so I can introduce them more. And I decided I wanted to start with one of the guys that is kind of going to be one of her enemies. Not the big villain, but he's certainly there being a dick along the way. And wow, is he an asshole. I mean, I know I would hate this character if I read a book with him in it. Long story short, my character fully lost a little sparring match with him, and he went a little too far. I'm just really excited right now. I love how much work I've gotten done and how easy those words were to get done, and honestly I think I'm going to keep going for a bit. So I guess we'll see where that leads me. I did finish off a chapter at just that scene that I talked about, so I didn't go on to like the kind of sweet part, and so I'm going to start on this next chapter. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, but we don't have to talk about that because I wrote 4,720 words today, and I finished the next chapter of my book. My word tracker writing habit tells me that is 2.5 times the goal of the day. This chapter was so fun and super cute to write, and I hope one day somebody else gets to read and squee and love these two characters as much as I have. This chapter was also the old versus new world comparison kind of thing, where my main character is kind of looking at the difference between like where we started and who she was in the beginning and where she is now, and it's just, it was a great chapter. I don't know what to say. I had such an amazing writing day. I loved writing these 3 chapters. Did I write 3 chapters? Sorry, I only wrote 2. And they were great chapters, and I had so much fun. We had like a lot of highs and lows really quickly. I can't believe I spent so long off from writing this book. I love it so much. And the 2 main characters, the love interest, they just have such a sweet and fun dynamic, and I love writing them. Anyways, I am up later than I wanted to be. I hope that I absolutely did push past my headache today, and I hope that does not bite me in the ass tomorrow. But I'm gonna go to bed. I'm so happy with my writing day and with my writing week. I think sometimes we can forget when we're working really hard and we are forcing ourselves to write, or we have that block, how much fun and wonderful writing can be. And I'm remembering. He's taking up most of the seat. Okay, so I just finished filming a video about organizing my bookshelves. My guess is that it will be out before this one is, and I was going to go and edit it, and then I was like, no, I said I'm going to try writing earlier, so I'm not always writing at nighttime, especially last night because I could not go to sleep after writing because I had like adrenaline. I don't even know. I was like looking at YouTube trying to find something to go to sleep to, and I swear to God, the videos just kept looping, like the same 2 rows of videos over and over again. what happened last night? Like, what did I do? Anyways, so it is 3 o'clock now. I've done all my chores for the day and I filmed that video, so I am going to try to get some writing work done now. Hopefully I still have like that kind of momentum and progress that I had yesterday. Look what just came in the mail. I just saw it. Let's open it. Okay, so I added a sweater because it's freezing and we're getting a cold front that's coming in and we're gonna get freezing rain tomorrow or snow. Hello. I have a knife. Trixie Mattel and Katja are two of my favorite drag queens. I'm a big Drag Race fan and drag fan period. And when I saw that they were coming out with an eyeshadow collection of Katja and Trixie, I was like, I need to have the Katja one. I wanted the Trixie one too, but they were so expensive and I've never tried her eyeshadows. I didn't want to buy both unless I knew I liked them. Okay, the time is now. Oh. Okay, ooh, I feel them. Oh, they're bigger than I thought. Don't play with knives, kids. How cute was that box, by the way? Like, you did not have to go that hard. Are you kidding me? This is so pretty. Like, I feel like my head is going, this is a collector's item and you must keep it. This one is for my best friend, so we won't open that one. But we will open this one. Team Katja 12 pan shadow pressed pigments. I've never tried any of Trixie's makeup, though I've always wanted to. These pants are much larger than I expected them to be. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. You can see my ceiling. They look so pretty. What I really liked about this palette upon looking at it was you can probably tell that I like to do fun makeup looks. That's because I don't usually wear makeup. And so when I do, I want to try out something fun and cool. And this has like a bunch of fun colors. And I don't have like a red that looks quite like this red. On camera, this is reading more pink. This is a true red in real life. So I love that this has so many colors that you can make. But also when you really zero in, there's like neutrals as well. You can make multiple kinds of looks out of this. Some a little more colorful and out there, and some a little more neutral. So like you could really take this palette with you on a trip and you could just have one palette that could do multiple looks for you. And I love that. Also, if you look around the mirror, oh god, you can see me. You can see all the little gymnasts and the medals and stuff. Like they really went hard on the theming of this. I wish I hadn't put on makeup already today so that I could put this on. I can guarantee that my next video you'll see me in Katja makeup though. What a fun excuse to get away from writing for a second. This brief interlude was brought to you by fatigue and lack of motivation. Alright, so there are sparkles all over my face because I took that makeup off as soon as I ate dinner. I like couldn't deal with it today. I'm just so tired. Of course, because I stayed up really late writing and then just could not get to sleep, of course. So there's a lesson in there somewhere if I can take it. I don't know that I can. I think this week has been a lesson in balance. Letting me tell myself that it's okay to take breaks. And it's also okay to keep working, and there are times you can push yourself and there's times that you can't, and there's a balance there, and so, you know, all good things. But let's talk about the week. Today I wrote 1,844 words. Let's do a calculation on how many words I wrote this week. Okay, so this week written a total of 14,324 words. That's crazy. I feel like that's more than I even thought it would be. And I guess that averages out to 2,046 per day, which is skewed by yesterday when I got 4,720 words, obviously. So that was my highest day of writing this week. My worst day was 578. Again, like it clearly all worked out because it averaged to being more than if I had written to the goal every single day, so I feel great with that. And most other days ended up being in the 1,700 or 1,800 range. Yeah, today it was hard to write, like I said, because I was so tired, and a tired me is an obstinate me, and I don't really love dealing with an obstinate me because I really was not trying to write today. I wrote probably 500 words, and then it was time for dinner, and I ate dinner, and when I came back I was just like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do it. And I was like, you can watch a YouTube video. So I let myself watch a YouTube video. And then I was like, what if I just clicked on another video though? And I was like, no, you can't click on another video. It was like, I just kept having to convince myself that I had to keep writing. And honestly, once I got back into it, it was very easy. It was very easy to keep going. I think that's one of the major things about writing, at least for me, is that sometimes getting me to start writing can be hard, but it is almost never hard to continue after that point. Like, starting is almost always the most difficult part for me. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed my weird week of getting back into writing after being off for so long. I think it was a really rewarding week. I'm so happy to be back doing it, and I think I'm trying to take the lessons that life is throwing at me, that I can forgive myself for missing a day or so, and for missing a few months when I needed it too. So I hope that I can keep this momentum going through until May, when I finish my book, and when I hopefully finish my book. I'm already thinking about editing it, but honestly, I feel good with my book. Like, I know that it's not great. I am at that point right now that I know it's not good, but I also know that it's better than my last first draft. Like, I can tell, like, I'm doing things that I was doing in my last second draft. And so that's like cluing into me, like, oh, like, I'm getting better. Like, it still sucks, but I am getting better, and that feeling is a great feeling. So if you like videos on writing and books, I do that hopefully weekly, sometimes intermittently, but as much as I can. And please give it a like if you like this video. Thanks for watching.